Hi everybody and welcome back to our Tuesday tutorial, which could be one of our last if fingers crossed Boris gives us the green light. Anyway, this week I thought I'd talk to you about our hands and nails and the importance of a good routine. It goes without saying that more often than not we focus on our faces and our necks, and we forget to give our hands and nails the TLC that they deserve, because let's not forget they actually do everything for us. So although it may sound a little bit indulgent, it's a real must, particularly if you want to hide those signs of aging. So our hands are exposed to absolutely everything: the rain, the wind, the cold, chemicals when we're cleaning, washing our hands with hand washers, we forget to put hand cream on. So it goes without saying that our hands are going to show aging very quickly, and they are going to be prone to seriously drying out. And throw into the equation medication, health issues, general pollution from the outside, our ages, our genetics. So it's a bit of a battle to get the balance right. But if you follow some simple steps, then we can help to maintain a youthful look to your hands. So the first thing that you want to think about doing is exfoliating your hands once or twice a week. So I would use my Daddy Scrub, which is jam-packed full of oils. It has sugar, salt in there, and pumice as their natural exfoliator. It has the olive oil, and it has jojoba oil, as well as over 20 derived natural essential oils. So you need the smallest amount because it is so concentrated. So probably for the hands about the size of a 5p, and then work it into your sides of your fingers. I get quite dry, calloused fingers on that side, particularly where I hold my nail brushes, and also with mucking out horses and things as well. So work in between your fingers, and you can see how oily it is. So all of that oil is going to help to retain moisture in the skin and the nails. The sugar turns into, as it dissolves on the skin, it turns into alpha hydroxy acid, which is also a chemical exfoliator. So you have the two. You've got the mechanical from the pumice and the salt, and you've got the sugar. Because it's pointless actually moisturising your hands if you've got lots of dead skin cells on there. So it helps the absorption of your lotions and sunscreens as well. Now just be careful on the back of the hands, because our hands on the back are much thinner skin. So just don't over rub them, because you don't want to make it too sore, although your Daddy Scrub is actually really, really gentle, and you'll just feel it breaking down as it dissolves on the skin. So and as I mentioned, it's got all of those oils. And what is nice, because it's so jam-packed full of the natural oils, just breathe it in, because it helps to really lift that mood as well. And then once you've done that for a good couple of minutes, you're going to rinse it off. Now, I wish I'd done a before and after picture, to be honest, because they feel so smooth, and already they're looking less dry just from the scrub. So because our oils produce less natural oil from the skin compared to the rest of our body, they're prone to more wrinkles, so the next, and sun damage and so forth. So the next thing we want to start thinking about is possibly a sunscreen. So we've all begin to look at the back of our hands as we get older, and you might see some aging spots, again, because we're exposed to everything. So there is no reason why you can't use a sunscreen after your hand lotion, or possibly a hand lotion with an SPF in it, and you're probably looking at around 30 to get the best protection. Next item we're going to use in your youthful hand routine is your daddy lotion. So this again is jam-packed with all of the natural oil, the olive oil, the jojoba oil, and all of the essential oil extract. So it still smells absolutely gorgeous. Now, because it is oil-based and not full of water, what that's going to do is help the retention of moisture in the skin and stop it evaporating. And also, when you wash your hands, you're not actually going to completely wash it away. So you'll get more applications out of a good lotion than you will one that's quite water-based. Now, you only need the tiniest amount, and what you can do is actually rub the backs of your hands together, because they are the thinnest parts of the skin, so they're the areas that are more prone to drying out, wrinkles, and looking older, as well as rubbing it into the rest of your hands. It absorbs really quickly, it's non-greasy, and it heals because it's got lemongrass in it, it's got lavender in it, lemon, lime. It's got so many different essential oils in there that will help to heal cracked and damaged skin. And remember, all of these products you can use on the body, and they're that gentle, you could even use them on your face. So with your lotion, to get the best out of it, apply it last thing at night. So it literally has all night to soak in, because obviously you're asleep, so you're not going to be washing your hands and things. And also, to go that extra mile, once or twice a week, just put plenty of lotion on, and then you can get yourself some cotton gloves and then just sit there for an hour, and it literally acts like a mask and it absorbs into the skin for that hour, and you'll get a great result with that. The next part of our healthy nail routine is I'm going to talk to you about oil, and you'll be sick to death of me talking to you about oil, but I want to explain to you a little bit more why it is so important. So our fingernails at the end of our toes and fingers are really fragile, and the reason being is they're made up of lots of different layers of cells, and they are bonded together with amino acids, and there is moisture in there, as water, and a small amount of oil. So every time that we wash our hands, or we have nail treatments, or we've been in chemicals, it literally strips away that small amount of oil, and that's what leads on to nail problems such as weakness, breaking, peeling. And you might see it on some nails, you might see it on all nails. They might feel really hard and brittle, but we'll talk about that in a second. So because moisture migrates through these nails and it evaporates, or it can be stripped away, it's really important to hold as much moisture in the nail plate itself. And if you imagine that this glass, these are oil cells of your natural nail, and the moisture, what the oil does is seep into the top layers in all the little nooks and crannies, and sits on top and prevents any moisture actually evaporating out of the nail. So that's why when I do any nail treatments, that it's always finished with an oil. So use your daddy, and literally all you need to do is just whack it across your nails and rub it in. It absorbs so quickly. Sometimes I rub it onto the back of my hands, and just like with the rest of the range, that daddy oil is again so gentle that if I'm particularly dry around my eyes, then I dab a bit under my eyes, and I've also put it on my lips. The very last thing that I want to talk to you about is the actual nail plate itself. So we've talked about hydrating and keeping moisture content in. So how do we combat our different nail types? Because we do have different nail types, just like you have different hair types and different skin types. So with skin, you'll have oily, you'll have combination, you'll have dry. With our nails, it's very, very similar. So you could have brittle nails, which are generally described as very, very hard, no flexibility in them whatsoever. They could be prone to breaking and splitting quite low down. They can look a little bit ridged, and they can look a little bit discoloured. Whereas a weaker nail tends to be very flexible. They're quite similar to mine. If you pinch them, they're really, really bendy. You could have the layers actually separating, so they're peel. So they're all different types of nails, and the myth is when you end up with weaker nails, you go out and you go and buy Sally Hansen nail strengthener. Now the problem is that can actually counteract and do the complete opposite of what you want. So you need to understand on whether you need to condition or you need to strengthen. So there is a couple of different products that you can use at home. Here's a couple of them. So this is Sesh, Recondition and Retain. There's also Rebuild, but I've actually sold out of that during lockdown, which is quite nice. If you've heard of Nailtiques and Jessica, they have a very similar thing. So you have, if you have very weak nails, very bendy, prone to peeling, then you would use Rebuild. And the reason being is because that is a higher protein content, which is what our nails are naturally made of, and a lower conditioning content. So you want more of that hardening result. Whereas if your nails are very brittle, then you would go for Recondition, which is actually a higher content in conditioning and lower content in protein, because you don't want any further hardening. And the Retain one is when you have that perfect nail. And a perfect nail is naturally a nice sheen, a pinky glow from the nail bed, some flexibility. So there has to be flexibility in the nail for it to take impact, basically, and not just break. So actually going out and just buying a quick nail strengthener off the supermarket shelf isn't necessarily right for your nails. You can actually send them the other way. So these guys are topical. They're applied like a polish at home. And if you're not sure about your actual nail type, then please ask, and I'll more than happily advise you and assess those nails for you and point you in the right direction if it was something that you wanted to use at home. Alternatively, if you do come into the salon and you have quite a weak breaking nail, then the professional service that we can add into any manicure, it is standalone or prior to your gel polish, is IBX. And IBX is a revolutionary treatment for that particular type of nails, and the fact that it's actually absorbed and set into the nail, and that's where it stays. So regardless of when you wash your hands, it's actually set like a monomer, really. But that's about it. So that's how to turn back time on your hands. So you've got sun cream and a good SPF, you've got a decent hand lotion, cuticle oil, need I say any more, and a good scrub. So if you want any information on any of the products, give me a shout, and hopefully I'm going to see you in a few weeks. Bye.